You're dying?
Yes.
Can I tell you just a minute, okay? Go ahead and start AMR to Blackburn Park. Just relax, stay in the car. Is your chest hurting? Hang tight, hang in there, okay? Got help coming.
A Brookhaven officer responds to a shots fired call March 2023. This is police redacted body camera footage.
Have you been shot? Have you been shot?
Within moments on scene, the officer confirmed the reported shooter and the victim were the same person.
Did you shoot yourself?
Yeah.
You shot yourself?
Self-inflicted and intentional. Steve Christian was dealing with cognitive memory loss. According to the letter he left behind, the diagnosis made the 77-year-old veteran want to die by suicide. Despite that letter and what happened before, interactions on this footage seemingly indicate Steve now wants to live after all.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, it's okay. We're here to help you, okay?
Lift up. Lift up.
In case files obtained by Atlanta News First Investigates, crews detailed Steve begging for help, recalling that the veteran kept saying he, quote, messed up.
Help me up.
Although Brookhaven police blurred and silenced graphic portions of this footage, you can hear many of Steve's cries over
I'm sorry.
and over.
I'm sorry.
At this point, 15 minutes have passed from when the first officer arrived and called for an ambulance.
I'm sorry.
There are more officers now, but still no ambulance.
I think we gotta move them.
Now, 18 minutes in,
Let's go ahead and get an ETA. We're gonna need to step this up.
the rain picks up as police say time runs out. Still, no ambulance.
Oh, man.
20 minutes on scene. Still, no ambulance. 22 minutes in, the cab fire arrives as backup, but the fire truck is not capable of emergency transport, so crews still need an actual ambulance. 26 minutes from when the first officer came on scene and called for help, ambulance help finally arrives. Steve Christian died at the hospital.
We're here to help you, man.
Watching this
It's not any easier.
is difficult for Brookhaven Police Chief Brandon Gurley.
Asking for help over and over and over again. And the police officers on scene are rendering aid and providing the help as best they can. But what this individual, the help this individual was in need of was an operating room. And that help didn't arrive in time.
That 26-minute wait for an ambulance is more than double the county EMS standard of 12 minutes for life-threatening calls, a standard American Medical Response, or AMR, agreed to when the company signed this DeKalb County contract. Has something gotten better?
No. It's a weekly, almost daily occurrence that we're going to be waiting. Our officers are going to be on scene waiting.
Atlanta News First Investigates analyzed City of Brookhaven records from the last 4 years. Data shows 90% of AMR's response time for life-threatening calls increased from 16 minutes in 2020 to 21 minutes so far this year. Records show in some cases, police decided to drive the victim to the hospital themselves in their own police car because of the delayed ambulance. Police cars not at all equipped for that.
We don't have stretchers, we don't have IVs, we don't have ways to administer medications en route to hospitals, we don't have an area big enough in our car.
We've gotten more impatient.
Mayor John Park blames growing delays on DeKalb County failing to hold AMR accountable.
Lack of enforcement, and then the penalties are so small that it's actually cheaper for them to just pay the penalty than it is to actually provide the services.
DeKalb County records reveal just how some of it works. Each quarter, AMR is expected to have 12-minute response times for 90% of its urgent calls. But if AMR fails to meet the 90% threshold, the company faces a $1,000 fine for each percent below. Example, if in quarter one, only 86% of calls met the contract standard, that means it's 4% below the 90% threshold. Then 4 times $1,000 equals $4,000 in fines for quarter one.
I want to improve response time.
As far back as 2020, AMR faced $2 million in DeKalb County fines, but only paid $600,000 of it that year. The unpaid money would not be Mayor Park's concern if it weren't for the performance. AMR would not interview with us, but said it's, quote, fully committed to DeKalb and open to working with Brookhaven on innovative solutions.
They say they're doing it, It's really just works more than anything.
It's why the city wants state intervention. Brookhaven wants to be in charge of their own ambulances, a move that would require the Georgia Department of Public Health to change zoning and consider other eligibility requirements. Even if the state approved it, City Council must consider funding resources to pay for a new ambulance company, potentially increasing taxes on Brookhaven residents. There's a cost burden on the taxpayer.
There's a cost burden if we don't do it.
So they've submitted the paperwork and pleas to sever ties with DeKalb County's ambulance service in hopes that Brookhaven is done waiting.
You're dying? Hang tight. Hang in there, okay? Got help coming.
You said anything to you wrong when you come back?
He just said, help, I'm dying.
That's all he said.